Welcome back to another reaction, this time for Medalist, Season 2, Episode 1. Really enjoyed the first season. I really like the concept. I like, we have someone to root for, someone, this cute little girl, and we have our, trainer who's trying his best. It just was a very heartwarming season with a lot, in my opinion, good animation for the ice skating itself was very well done. Now this one, I feel like it was not that long ago that we did Medalist season 1. So I hope they still have the same quality. We will see.
3分わずか180秒その間に自分たちが積み上げてきた全てを出し切るそれがフィギュアスケートの世界何十何百何千と繰り返し練習してきたジャンプスピンステップ確実に決められる確実に成功する
You're not the one. I remember. So we have our girl at the beginning. We have the more or less genius type character, who I assume we are not. Maybe we are going to see. We also had some other characters. One of the more notables is we have the guy who was an asshole, but he got around. He came around. Very nice. He grew, which is good. And Cat Girl, the one that is very feisty, very she's always shown as a cat, I believe. She always got like cat ears. I don't know if she just was something. I don't know. But the one that was very feisty at the beginning, and they became friends and stuff. That is something about her teacher was also pretty something I remember, but I can't really tell you exactly what. But she looks similar to her, but not. I believe this is not her.
あれだけ練習してきたんだそれでも現実は残酷なまでに襲いかかってくるわずかなほころびがわずかな心の揺らぎがそのミスを引き起こす
Now this was also interesting that a mistake like this is more or less just game over, right? I don't remember if you have like a second chance. Maybe in the lower brackets you do. I don't believe in the higher ones. I remember there was like she did a trick and it didn't land correctly. But then she, someone did a trick, didn't land correctly. But they then did a more impressive trick, something harder, and landed that one, and it was like, okay. But falling, I believe, is not that something you can, make up for. I don't know if there's like, because you have to get a routine and I believe you have to submit the routine. I'm sure. I don't know if you have like, let's say you have 10 tricks you have to do. Tricks, I'm calling them tricks. 10 moves, let's say that you have to do, and you screw one up. It's like, okay, you get one do-over. You can, you make one mistake, you can try it again, that one move. And then, okay. Or if it's like, yay. It has to be perfect, beginning to end.
後悔している時間はない残されたわずかな時間にこれまで積み上げてきた自分の全てを肯定するために再び立ち上がる
There is Genius Girl.
そんな中全く揺らぐことなく存在する星がある まるで彼女を中心に全てが回っているような、周りとは明らかに違う輝きを放つ、そんな星が近づきたくても近づけない、手を伸ばすことすらためらわれる、そんな星を前にした時、人は何を思うのだろう。
Now this, naturally, again, our girl. The whole problem, if I remember correctly, was that she wanted to do ice skating, but her mother didn't allow it because her sister did ice skating and injured herself or something happened. So her mom was not really keen on letting her, so she did it more or less in secret by exchanging worms with the, the one that is letting people in. Because he just wanted to do something good for the child, and it's like, yeah, you know what? You gave me worms, I'm going to let you in, which then turned into her gathering worms just to get in. And, she did it in secret, but as she was able to find a trainer that was willing to give her a chance, our guy who has a whole other backstory, and she then was able to take part in these competitions that she is too old. Normally people start like 2 or 3 years younger than her to train and, grow up with the ice skating. While you are growing, you train your body in a specific way. And she was supposedly too old to do that. So we will see. Naturally, I'm assuming she's going to be able to. She seems very capable. So let's see how well we are going to progress in this season. Oh, we have the opening, which I have to cut out, but sure. Interesting. Yeah, we got to see a bunch of characters, bunch of new characters that I guess we get introduced to. New rivals. We also saw some more mature characters. I don't know if they are trainer. It seems like they train to participate in competitions, which also I assume our trainer is going to do that as well, maybe. I only remember that I don't know exactly why, but he wanted to be a skater because he had like an idol. I believe that one was also in duel, in partner skating. I don't know what it's called, but he joined more or less the same, had a partner, and together they were skating. And he never really was able to compete at a high level. He made some kind of mistake in a big competition, and since then he was gone, more or less. His whole, he was not confident anymore. I remember that. We did see Catgirl, feisty one with her trainer. We saw I don't want to, I believe she was Okinawa, the one that is tanned, that is very tall and has had growing pains in her legs. I do wonder how many we get reintroduced to, how many characters, and how many new characters we get. And again, season 2, how many episodes do we have? 9. 9? I mean, I hope that the quality is very good for these 9 episodes. For one, I'm totally okay with having less episodes, but you have a better pacing then. If that is the thing. As example, Takopi's Original Sin, I really like. It's 6 episodes. I feel like you could stretch those if you wanted, but I feel like it doesn't really add much to just make it longer for being longer sakes. It was, it hit everything it needed to hit, and I hope that the anime industry is going more in the direction of, hey, we only need 10 episodes, we need 15 episodes. We need, not this rigid 12, 13 episodes. It's like, okay, sometimes we need more, sometimes we need less, but we can tell a better story in that time frame.
ダメだ。もう一度最初から確認して。
Okay, trainer. Right. Didn't he live with whom? It was like a family he lived with that supported him in his early endeavors.
まだ起きてたのか。
カゴさ
ん。どうしたのその顔。
いえ、今の構成でもっと高得点を取る方法がないか最終確認を。
あら、よくないね。
But I don't believe you are living with Inori, right? But there was another girl? Wasn't there?
スケートのことはよくわからないけど、用意周到すぎると。
If I remember correctly, he was, he wanted to skate. He had to work, and he worked for this guy and his family. And they took him in more or less, gave him somewhere to sleep, and they encouraged him to go skating. Wasn't that the point? And they have a child, I believe. And that is not Inori, if I remember correctly. I don't know if their child is going to join as well skating.
小さいミスでパニクることがあるから適当にするのも大事だと思うけど。
ですよね、つい。でも過去の試合データ見ていると、いかにして高得点を取るか、みんな戦術や個性があって、ついつい熱くなっちゃって。
Right. Right, I forgot.
してくれたのにすみませんでした。叶えられなくて、何も返せなくて。
She was the main one that encouraged him, right?
このプログラムも。
And that is when, after that, he decided to leave, but the dad brought him back because he sees him more like a family now. Because of, they took him in for a couple of years. They grew closer as a family.
すごかったんだよな。このジャンプだけで、このプログラムもすごかったんだよな。このジャンプだけでこの点数出して、ステップも素晴らしかったな。
じゃあ、僕は明日休みだし、ゆっくり寝るとするよ。大会頑張ってね。
はい、ありがとうございます。おやすみなさい。
I mean, if he's that, if he enjoys working so much, why not? Sure. You have to be careful, and sometimes you have to force people to do something for, the betterment of them. If he works like the next 5 days, 24/7, sometimes you have to force them to just relax. So they don't burn out. So, and she was also a trainer, I believe.
来た来た。おはようございます。
おはようございます。
司先生、ひとみ先生。今日はよろしくお願いします。
こちらこそよろしくお願いします。
What they're saying is, it's just a general, I hope we have a good day today, right?
祈りをよろしくお願いしますよ。絶対優勝させ。よろしく。
Is that the dad?
おはようございます。
よろしくお願いします。絶対優勝させてくださいね。
I believe we never got introduced to him.
それにしてもチューブブロック大会まで来ちゃうとは。
Chubu Block Tournament.
それで満足しちゃダメだ。強豪クラブにとってはここの出場は最低条件。今日はここで滑るのが当たり前の選手相手に勝たなきゃいけないんだ。 全日本ノービスへ進めるのは5枠。15人で5つの席を奪い合う戦い。今まで遠い存在だったノービスの選手たちを前にいかに心が負けないようにできるか。コーチとしての力が試されるのはこれからなんだ。
最初はあんなに渋っていたのに立派な先生になったな。
ただ一つだけ悔しいのが、俺も開会式でいのりさんの晴れ姿見守りたかった。
Okay, and why? I mean, I can see if he's working, but why not take part in that? Is that where the idol thing from the opening comes from? Okay, so we get introduced to a lot of new friends, potentially.
チューブブロック大会。
I mean, we see a bunch of the girls. We see the twins right in the middle. Okay. Now I wonder, the ones in suits, are those, you know, adults? Or are they also participants?
チューブブロック大会、憧れてきた場所だ。ありがとう、司先生、ひとみ先生、お母さん、みんな。そうだ、ひかるちゃん。知ってる人一人もいない。そうたくんやりおうくんもいるはずなんだけど、あの人たちノービス A の
Mm-hmm. A bunch of girls, and that we also got to see in the opening. I believe we saw all of them.
選手だ。あそこに座るんだ。
Could you?
これすっごい面白いから。これは中に入りづらい雰囲気。でもダメだ。このままおどおどしちゃいけない。私だってノービスになったんだから、元気に明るく。そう、
いのりさん。
司先生みたい。
She's gonna be robotic, isn't she? Also, I do not remember. Is she older than the rest? Again, one of the big parts in the first season was that she's too old for some of the competitions, but she did grow really fast. So I don't know, is she in the right age bracket now for this competition? Or is she still theoretically older?
やあ、そこのキラキラしてる女
What?
子たち。私
Did you have alien eyes? What is with the girl on the left there? In the pink. What? Huh? It's not glasses.
そこのキラキラしてる女子たち。私ノービス A の唯一かい祈り。席ってどこに座ればいいかな。ムキムキムキムキ。
Again, what is with your eyes? Inbound, this is not the right area.
ムキムキって何？ムキ。席は決まってないから好きなところに座っていいんだよ。ありがとう。君のリボン素敵。とっても。
I mean, at least she's making an impression, I guess.
可愛いね。ムキムキ100億点。ありがとう。
今なんか自分に似た冷圧が。
冷圧？出場4回目。そうだよ。みんなクラブ違うけど、長野の合宿も一緒だったから仲良くなって。
Interesting. Fortheim, huh? Again, this plays into the whole Inori is pretty old to whenever she started. Why these guys, this is the first, for her, the fourth time. For Inori, it's the first time. So they all have the experience. They all did this already a couple times. They have a head start.
その他にも3回転超飛ぶ豊橋のことか
Also interesting. I don't remember what Inori had trouble with again. We had like the doubles, the 2.5s. Or were they triples?
今年の名後輩で2位だった石川の子や去年の中部大会優勝の子そうか私ノービスになれただけで同じ存在になれたと思い込んでたみんな
So these are all competitors. What was Flex?
歴がムキムキですごい
You are too close to the trainer. And again, why is the trainer not taking a participate in here? Is it just a courteous thing where they decide, hey, this is their great moment, let them be together with one another, let them be, introduce themselves. Don't have the trainers there for, I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe just the room is not big enough.
だからムキムキって何経歴って言ってもうちらはまだヒカルちゃんにはかなわないけどあのさ
Hikaru.
やめようよ試合前からそういうの言うな
So she lost against Hikaru?
今エントリー確認して
I'm assuming they are twins. They look very similar. And I'm assuming Hikaru is not taking
た
part.
んだけどヒカルちゃんが
Understandable.
いない
Naturally, everyone is now happy. What is with your fucking eyes? What's the I mean, why would she? She is far and beyond better. She probably going to take part in another competition or train for that. Something more important. Yeah, but this is not the trainer. The trainer would never clap for her, I feel like. And would never encourage her like that.
さすがジュン君の生徒だけあるね。
ありがとうございます
君はすでにシンデレラだ。これ以上僕にどんな魔法を期待している？何をしにロシアまで？
She's in Russia. So this is all about, her getting stronger, learning from other countries how they do stuff, to then bring back all that experience.
まだ子供のスケーターなのにバレエが結構できている
Uh-huh.
じゃなくて世界最高水準のバレエを知りたいんです
ほう。
私はシンデレラじゃなく魔法使いになりたい
Interesting. I do wonder, was that her idea or his? That would be interesting to know. I also hope we get to see a little bit of that. At least where she's going. I mean, she's in Russia. I can definitely, she's going to Europe in maybe one or two countries. And I can see France as example. Where else? I don't really know. But it makes sense. She get more experience outside because if you are only competing in a country and you don't have really this international experience you get from, because it's mostly Japanese people taking part in Japan, you don't really get to see how other countries do this, what tricks they use, what their choreography is, whatever, what moves they use, how they combine them, what else they have in store, even different music that they use. You can learn a lot, especially if you are at like the top in your country.
孤児だったヒカル様は 数奇な巡り合わせで当家の養子になりました。人を引きつけて運をつかむ強い力がおありです。
それは僕が判断することだよ。
Oh, this is before he was her trainer. So they called him in and like, Hikaru is awesome, and he's like, okay, I'm going to take a look.
それで本人は
後ろにいらっしゃいます。
What the fuck? What are you doing?
獣のように眼光がゆらゆらきらめいていた。きっとこの子供は僕が何もしなくても世界に見つかり、火の元に引っ張り出さ
She's tiny, by the way. She's barely going to his knee.
れるんだろうと思う。
Okay, he's a little bit elevated, but sure.
そして僕と同じ道をたどるんだろう。
Is that a good thing? I feel like the path you took made you into a pretty miserable adult. Maybe it's your personality.
じゃあ、ヒカルちゃんは夏の合宿でシード選手に選ばれているから、この大会に出場。
Oh. Okay. Makes sense. It makes sense. Even if she were not as good in skating, maybe, you know, for whatever reason, she is a household name. It makes sense to have her in the competition just to get more eyes on the
し
competition.
なくても全日本は確定してるんだよ。そうなんだ。
I could also see that, you know, they were like getting the information that Hikaru is not going to take part, and they're like, oh, you are invited anyway. Because it's a big name.
シード選手でも試合経験積むために普通出場するからすごい珍しいことだけどね。そういえば言ってた。全日本でね。
Oh. Right. So this was already the idea is that she's not going to take part in that.
約束だよ。そっか。ヒカルちゃん、私がこの大会を勝ち抜くって信じてるんだ。
おや、そこの小学生たち。いつもの元
Hmm? Who are you? I'm assuming a trainer.
気がないな。
You are already more important. And because the coaches are not normally taking part, so I assume you are the organizer or whatever. You were in the opening. The left one was the one that was skating. So I assume I mean, they all have like uniforms. So high school maybe. A lot of very colorful design.
あの人たちテレビで見たことある。チューブの強化選手の人だ。フィギュアスケート
Uh-huh.
連盟が毎年20人選抜する強豪国日本を支える有能な選手たち。ランクは3つあって強化選手
So they decide the 20 most most promising skaters they back and, you know, give them extra training, whatever, every year. Now I'm assuming that a couple of them naturally are going to be, you know, have like familiar ties, and that is how they get these positions. Oh, 16 years old. These are, Inori is like what, 12, I believe? No, 8, 9, maybe?
強化選手
She's 18. The whole point for our trainer boy, coach, that he stopped skating and became a coach was that he was supposedly too old. So there's like an age limit you can hit. But for these 20 skaters that they back, age doesn't matter, I guess. I'm assuming these get special training. I'm assuming they are also going to be like, I don't know, they are maybe judges? I don't see them taking part in this competition. Or are there different brackets for this? Age brackets?
そして現役日本選手の頂点特別強化選手前回のオリンピック
Last Olympics. Wow. Okay.
出場古城リーナちゃんだリーナちゃん
ユーナ、四葉、どうした？そんな浮かない顔して。
I mean, good question. Here, this meme would be here. Who starts a conversation like this? I just sat down, you know, which fits very well. This is a good competition. We have, you know, these. So they have different brackets. Are they going to take part in, like, I don't know what bracket they are in. Or are they all skating against each other? And these 5, we have like 5 people that advance to the All Japan. Are these 5 seats for all of them? Because then it's going to be very hard for Inori to get to All Japans if she has to skate against these guys. She's an Olympian. I mean, that seems very hard.
いのりちゃんダメだよそんなこと聞いたら
I mean, she can. You can always ask. You can ask what you want. I mean, unless it would put your life in danger. But asking is rarely the problem.
お前。誰に向かって聞いてんだよ。五輪のこと。生き方聞けばいけちゃう程度のハードルだと思ってんの。
So it seems like she sees the Olympian as something like not idle, but you know, something to strive towards too.
うちらのこと煽ってんのかな。イルカ。ここはガキも礼儀ができて当たり前の世界っすよ。イルカ。はーい。
そうかリーナちゃんだってこれからオリンピック目指して試合に挑むんだ。私無神経なことを。
The first competition to decide who skates for Team Japan. I'm assuming she is not going to be part of that.
ごめんなさい。あらすごい汗。おつらいようなら私の膝におかけになってください。大丈夫です。このままで。
気を使わせちゃったね。君が聞きたいのはオリンピックに出るためにどんな練習が必要かってことだよね。はい。それは私にもわからないんだ。積み重ねたものが正しかったかは試合をするまでわからないから。
すみません。
でも
I mean, she apologized, not understood.
オリンピックに確実に出場する方法なら知ってるよ。
You just have to win everything, right?
それはね、オリンピックシーズンの年、全日本選手権の金メダリストになることだ。4年前、シニアにデビューしたばかりの私にろくな戦績はなかった。だが、私は全日本優勝という魔法の金メダルでオリンピック代表になったんだ。だから、私、古城リーナは今年全日本選手権を勝ち取り オリンピック2度目の出場を果たすとここに誓います。
私もなります。全日本選手権の金メダリストにいつかきっと。
ワクワクするよね、目標決めた瞬間ってさ。でもいつかじゃなくて今日だと思うな。それを証明するのは君、いやここにいるみんな気づいてる？ノービスへの課題が私たちシニアやジュニアより厳しいこと。
Okay. So there are different. This is the part I'm a little bit. Before it was mostly Inori and her peers fighting each other in competitions. But this is like an overarching competition with different stages. She's in Novice A, so she has to skate against other people in her age bracket. While the other ones are in senior and junior level. And they have to skate against each other, which has different requirements, as she's stating here. A loop, a flip, and a lutz, which I definitely know what these are. A lutz? Was it not like... a flip. Was a lutz not like this, where you end backwards? I don't remember. Too long ago. I'm not a skater.
フリップ、ルッツ、
I know the shot.
3種の高難度のジャンプを必ず入れなくてはいけない。なぜノービス A にだけそんな特別なルールがあるかといえば、海外で通用する選手を育成するため。つまりここにいる選手全員数年後日本代表選手になりうる。
Then just what rules?
なぜノービス A にだ
Oh, that they have to do all three. And it's like, hey, we make Novice A really hard because everyone that is going to be a Novice A, they have the potential to be a national team member. We want the best of the best as early as possible, so we know who to support, because these are the, you know, the best junior talent we have, and we want to identify them early enough to push them for the Olympics.
日本代表選手になりうる人材として期待されているということなんだ。本気でオリンピックに出るって信じているなら、今日ここにいる全員の前で証明してみせなよ。君がその器だっていうことを。ここにいる誰よりも自分がふさわしいっていうことを。
そうだ、もう私はオリンピックの道の上にいるんだ。はい。
先生、私たち選手一同は好きなことに打ち込めるこの環境に感謝し、
先生方との日頃の練習の
Oh, you are here. Okay.
先生方との日頃
No, you're outside, I guess.
の練習の成果を発揮し、応援してくださるすべての方々に最高の演技を届けることを誓います。
この大会を勝ち抜いて、私は絶対ヒカルちゃんの待つ場所に行く。
おお、ここがスケートリンクか。
空気がひんやり、野菜室みたい。
司く
There's the shite, right. I do wonder if she's ever skating.
んはいないな。
では抽選を行います。呼ばれた選手は前に来てください。まず唯一かいのりさん。はい。どうぞ。
準備時間も少ない一番は避けたい。できたら第2グループ。唯一かいのりさん、14番、第2グループです。よかった。
This is always one of those hard points, because in a competition, if you go first, you don't have any as a person in first, you have a lot of pressure because you're the first person. However, you don't have any pressure of who went before you. Meanwhile, if you are going later, hey, if the people before you were, mediocre and not as good as you, a lot less pressure. You are not the first. You have a lot more time to prepare. You can see what other people are doing and you can be like, okay, I have a good chance. And you can get, it's not as pressuring. However, if the people before you are good, then you are under even more pressure. Because now you have to be even better. You can't make a mistake anymore because they are so good that even a little mistake is going to cost you the win. So, a little bit double-edged. But we will see. Ooh. Again, she already took part in this. So we have we have a bunch of names, bunch of numbers. So we can't have multiple sixes, sixth place. This is also not the age. So this is number 1. Oh. So this is group 1, I assume, with my infinite knowledge of Japanese, which is 0, but we have a big 1 at the top. So I'm assuming this is how many times they partook. So she went once. I assume last year she was number 1. We can't have multiple sixes in when they skate. So I'm assuming this is how many times they participated. So 5th time, a bunch of 6-timers. A bunch of 6 and 5-timers. So this is group 2, which we will see if Inori has 0, that, this is how many times they participated. We have everyone at least once already was here. No, 6. Okay. I don't know. I have no idea what this means. Straight up. Is this their ranking? I do not remember the ranking. They get like badges and there's something going on. So it's like their ranking. I would assume, because we have like 5, 6, 1. So we don't really have a 4. So I'm assuming the 1 is advanced, while the 5 and 6 are, the previous. Translation would have been nice. I'm assuming that is their ranking. You have rank 5, you have rank 6. Inori is 6, right? Yes. And it's like, 5 is the lowest, 6 is middle, and the 1 is probably the advanced.
本当に会えるの？コーチって忙しいんじゃない？
そうかも。
来るならちゃんと調べてよ。
だってなんとかなると思ったんだもん。
Oh, did you not tell him that we are coming? You didn't tell him last night. You were like, oh, tomorrow some people have a day off, so they have to go to sleep now. So you never told him that you come and take a look? Why? Why? It doesn't make sense as a child. It's big container. You don't really have the grip. I don't remember. I believe they already saw Inori at some point. I don't know if the girl had contact with Inori.
ああ、だから持つって言ったのに。もうお父さん片付けている。
Yeah, you are not going to get that out.
からスカート洗っといで。
And I'm assuming you are going to go into the participants bathroom instead of the visitor bathroom.
ティッシュ持ってたかな。
The pack of tissue is not going to help. Okay, this is Inori.
急げ急げ。
お、
Oh no. Oh, okay. For a moment, I was really like, okay, is she going to break her leg now?
急に降ってきたからおみこしかと思って。
So they never had contact with Inori, but they do know Inori is gay. Do they know? They know he's a coach. No, but I feel like they visited one of the competitions. Did they
あ、
not?
ついちゃった。ごめんね。足ひねってない？大丈夫？
はい、大丈夫です。しっかりキャッチしてくれたので。
君もしかして選手の子？はい。おじさん、実は今人を探してて、明浦寺司っていうコーチやってる人なんだけど。
司先生。
もともとはアイスダンスやっていた人なんだけどね。知らないかな？
アイスダンス。
So I'm assuming he knows that he's coaching now because he said he used to ice dance. But they never knew that Inori is his protege.
のことまで知ってるなんて、このおじさん、もしかして。
He's going to assume he's the bad guy. Or a fanboy, I guess. Sure.
わかんないよね。名字も覚えにくいし。
いえ、知ってます。
え？
裏地。
She doesn't even know the name.
司先生はルクス東山の先生です。私のコーチです。
Is he going to, say the name? Inori?
じゃあもしかして君がいのりちゃん？
はい、唯一かいのりです。
そうか、君が。僕すごく君に会いたかった。
I hope you are nice. You don't feel very nice right now. But I hope you are like, I want to talk to you. I'm so thankful that you give, the coach his, Inori is more or less responsible for Tsukasa to, have this drive again, this passion about ice skating that he had whenever his wife was alive.
みたい。本当に嬉しいよ。ありがとう。お？あ、やっほー、司くん。
え？
おーい。
Yeah, he didn't tell him that he was coming along. I do find that funny because normally if you believe your dream, you pinch your own cheek, but in anime it's always like the other cheek because
本物！
いい反応。
見慣れた人がいつもと違う背景にいるので緊張で脳がバグったかと思いました。
はは、芸能人になっちゃった気持ちだな。本物に出会えて嬉しいかい？
もしかして司先生のお父さんですか？
そうだよ。
違うノリで適当な嘘つくのやめてください。
true, she is very gullible, but essentially you are like, I mean, father would be a little bit, but like a big brother,
それよりどうしてスケート観戦興味ないと思ってたのに。
ああ、一度司くんのお仕事を見たくて。ほら僕結局司くんのスケートを一回も生で見ずに終わっちゃったからさ。
そうだ、時間。いのりさん、練習着に。
Aww. Now that I feel like story-wise, it would make sense for Inori to meet his daughter, and more or less bring her to also start skating.
前から生
But she's now gone. Now the daughter comes back.
で観戦したかったんだよね。
え、
僕はルールのこと全然わかんないから。
I mean, this is me with most sports. I don't know the rules, but watching, always enjoyable.
メイコに教えてもらったりしながらテレビでいつも見てたんだけど。メイコ
Understandable. Understandable, you don't really want to necessarily have to relive. It's always hard. You go back, you relive the good part, sure, watching the TV with your wife, having this nice little time, but then you get reminded that she's gone, and that is not always a good
がい
feeling.
なくなって
So understandable.
迷っていたんだけど、昨日のキラキラした司くん見てたらいいなって思って、僕も形変えて夢叶えちゃおうってやっと思えたんだよね。司くんの情熱のおかげでまた前進できたよ。
And Inori is one of the big parts why he's so passionate now, which is good.
おいおいコーチ、泣くのは選手の演技が終わった時に取っておきなよ。
はい、すみません。ありがとうございます。俺は今日コーチとして最善を尽くします。俺の仕事は目に見えません。いのりさんの演技が全てです。いのりさんの滑走を見守ってください。いつも俺にしてくれているように。
うん、了解。じゃあ食べかけのパンあげる。
What?
なんで？
We change really quickly.
こうして全日本出場をかけた5つの椅子を奪い合う長い板
Over the 5 qualifying
5
seats.
つの椅子を奪い合う
Again, is this for each bracket? Or overall? I assume for each bracket. Maybe it's only 5 for the novice bracket and the senior has like 3.
長い一日が始まろうとしていた
Okay. Ending. So this is mostly setup. We got reintroduced to the characters, introduced to new characters, and we are already at a big competition. We don't waste any time. We are at a big competition. We will see what is going on. I'm assuming after that we get some training and then maybe another competition. But we will have to see.